Hopefully you are fine. Today we are going to discuss about motion and types of motion. Yes, what is motion? Motion is actually beta that the state of the body when it changes its position with respect to its surrounding or environment. This is called as motion. For example, if a boy is running a cycle, we can say that the boy is in state of motion. And for example, when you switch on the fan and the fan is revolving around a fixed point, then we can say that the fan is in state of motion. Yes, and my dear students, motion is the phenomenon in which an object changes its position over time. If a body continuously changes its position with respect to its environment, then we can say that the body is in state of motion. There are many examples of motion. For example, the motion of simple pendulum, motion of a moving bicycle, motion of a flying mosquito, motion of merry-go-round. This is a type of you can say that toy. And motion of the blades of a fan, the motion of earth around the sun, motion of a striker moving on a carom board, motion of stone falling freely from the roof of a building, motion of cycle, motion of a butterfly, motion of an arrow, motion of the ball when you hit it by bat. And there are so many other examples, and you can think by it by yourself. And there are certain things which you see on your screen. All of these are the simply we can say that they are in the state of motion because they are continuously changing their position with respect to their environment. And there are several types of motion because the pattern and on the pattern they adopt to move. On the basis of their pattern, we can identify or we can simply classify the types of motion. There are some types of motion which is vibratory motion, linear motion, curvilinear motion, rotatory motion, circular motion, and oscillatory motion. So first of all, we have to discuss them in briefly. We have to discuss them. If, for example, body moves in a straight line, like when you shot an arrow, it moves in a straight line. This is called as linear motion. For example, when a person hit a ball and the ball adopted the curved path, this is called as curvilinear motion. And similar in the case of the cricket ball, when you hit it by a bat, it moves, for example, in a curve. This is called as curvilinear motion. And there is another very famous example of oscillatory motion when, for example, the swing is moved. It moves in a forward way and then it comes backward. This to and fro motion means this repeatedly backward and forward motion is called as oscillatory motion, or we can say it as vibratory motion. And when, for example, a thing moves around a fixed point like a fan, yes, the blade of the fan moved around a fixed point, or a wheel, that wheel moves around a fixed axle, this is called as rotatory motion. And when, for example, body moves in a circular path and but it does not move along a fixed point and rather it moves in a circular path, this is called as the circular motion. And the best example is जो बचपन में आपने देखे होते हैं कि बच्चा होता है वो साइकिल के टायर को डंडे से मार रहा होता है और साइकिल क्या कर रहा होता है, पहिया मूव कर रहा होता है। तो ये हमारे पास क्या हो जाएगा, सर्कुलर मोशन हो जाएगा। जब एक बंदा म्यूज़िक बजा रहा होता है और म्यूज़िक का जो हमारे पास स्ट्रिंग होता है वो जो मूव कर रहा होता है स्ट्रिंग, तो ये भी हमारे पास बेटा क्या होता है, वाइब्रेटरी मोशन। इसी तरह बेटा अगर आप पेंडुलम की एग्जांपल लें तो पेंडुलम इज़ आल्सो केस ऑफ वाइब्रेटरी मोशन। जी।